it's like any other management standard that is brought to reality by ISO. It follows exactly the same model with the different chapter that you can see on this representation, with different chapters like getting really a vision of all the different information and the different topics, the different variables that the organization has to deal with while talking about innovation. But while talking about any kind of management, like the context of the organization, but I will go back to it later on. But just to give a quick overview of it, the context, which is the strategy, the intent of the innovation into the organization, the leadership, how the people are committed to drive innovation, the planning, of course, how do we organize innovation inside the organization, the support, which are all the activities that are needed to make innovation really become reality. And inside, at the core of the whole system, you have this operation chapter about how you go from an idea, an opportunity, towards value. But of course, I will come back to this. And of course, around all this, you will have a continuous improvement and evaluation that is needed. What is important and interesting to see is that among the different experts that have participated to the work of writing this standard, we were, I mean, half of the participants and experts were both ISO quality expert and innovation expert. So that is really important to reassure everyone that we're not talking about a standard only for politicians. We're talking about a standard for innovators, really. And I can tell that there have been some fight against those two parties to make sure that we're not doing something that is too many requisites, to standard, but it's really it really relies on what innovation is about, really. So that was the spirit of the design of this and the writing of this standard. So what do we standardize? That's the big question. We are standardizing the innovation management system, which is totally different. We're standardizing the way to innovate. We are standardizing the pillars of the system that will bring to reality innovation and the capability inside any organization. So that's something really we have to have in mind. We are not standardizing innovation at all. So innovation has its own, as you can see, definitions through the standard. And it's very large, new or change entity, realizing or redistributing value. Innovation management is something else. It's about practice and methodology. Innovation management system, it's all, and I like this definition, and I would refer to it, of course, it's a set of interrelated or interacting elements of an organization to establish the right context for innovation to become reality, to establish strategies, policy, and objectives, and processes to achieve those objectives. What I see now from the past 6 months, that the standard is getting more and more known, and people, organizations, and more talking about it. What I see is that it's a really good news for professionals in innovation, because they can really refer to it in order to push organization to move on towards better implement innovation practices, actions, and so on. Just to give you few also information that I think are really important. In the ISO 56000, this is the introduction for the whole suite of the standards, and you have in this document all the definition. what is really important is that you also have the principle of the innovation management standard. And if you go through all those 8 principles, I can tell that you cannot say we're not talking about innovation. We're talking about value creation, system approach to solve complexity, I would say. We're talking about leaders that are really focused on the future and the way to change things. Of course, we are focusing on strategy. Innovation culture is really big, changing the mindset. We were talking during the lunch about the mindset of students and also professors to accept uncertainty. So innovation culture is really, really important to make any organization able to innovate. Of course, insight exploitation is about grasping opportunities. Uncertainty management is just huge. So you have with those 8 principles, really the core of the whole standards.